So today I'm going to be talking about my traumatic birth story of baby number 1. And I felt everything. I felt being cut, I felt the contractions, and I felt the stitching. Hey, it's Shay Shay. Welcome back to my channel, guys. So today I'm going to be talking about my traumatic birth story of baby number 1. So I posted my birth and labor and delivery vlog on my channel. So if you guys want to watch that, the link will be down in the description below, and it will be at the end of my video as well, linked. But first, watch this video because obviously you saw what happened, not everything, but you saw what happened for some or the most part, whatever. But I always wonder what really and fully happened because I watch these videos and I'm like, well, what did they go through before, during, after? So I wanted to make a video about what I went through because you cannot see everything I went through that video. So I'm gonna talk about it here. So basically, okay, this is kind of, it was all just traumatic. Birth is a very life-changing and painful experience and beautiful and everything like that, but it was really traumatic. I'm not going to lie to you guys at all, and very painful. But okay, so back in 2016, my daughter's due date, which she's now 2.5, about to be 3, her due date was December 29th, 2016, and I gave birth to her on the 28th. Now, I had to be induced, even though I had a natural labor, because I didn't get any pain meds or anything like that. I just had her naturally and vaginally, but I did have to get induced, and they induce you to jumpstart labor, which they give you Pitocin is the name of the medicine that they give you. And so I had to be put on Pitocin, but here's how this started. So I was going to the hospital, I would say, yeah, every week. You go every week when you're 36 weeks and on, and I was going every week. I was having ultrasounds and stress tests, which I don't know if that's normal, but in my case that's what happened. Because she was measuring small. And again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with her. There's absolutely nothing wrong with her. But she was just a small baby. She was 5 pounds and 1 ounce. And she just stayed small. Like majority of my pregnancy, I didn't really show or carry big. So, I mean, that's just what it was. But they were a little bit concerned. So they had me keep doing stress tests and ultrasounds back to back every single time I went. So I had a lot of ultrasounds. But also too, guys, so everything was fine up until literally one day before her due date, which I was 39 weeks and 6 days when I gave birth to her. Literally, they induced me one day beforehand. Now, had I not been induced and everything had been fine, I would have, they already set the date to be January 4th that I was supposed to give birth to her next year, well, the year after. But it did not turn out like that because basically I had to get induced because on the ultrasound up until the very last one she was fine, and then the very last one the nurse or the sonographer who was looking at me kept making faces like and me and my mom was with me for my whole pregnancy, especially at the end, and she was like, me and her looked at each other and we're like, what's going on? Is there something wrong? Like, I'm literally freaking out. Like, she's like making noises and faces, but not even telling me what's, like, she sees or what's going on. And I guess that's the rule of thumb, because she told me that the doctor was gonna come in and tell me what's going on. So I was like, okay. And then, oh yeah, also guys, where I got all my, ultrasounds and stress tests done was in triage. It's like a room. It's not recovery or labor and delivery. It's like a whole nother wing that you have to go to, and it's like really small, and they like have like curtains to like separate you. But yeah, I was in triage for that. Then they sent me back up to triage because my stress test was fine, but my ultrasound wasn't. So then they sent me back up when I was supposed to be discharged after that ultrasound, but they sent me back up to triage. And I started getting really, really scared. And mind you, I had nothing ready. I literally came that day for a regular appointment. My water never broke, which that's the whole reason for this that I'm about to tell you. And my mucus plug never came. So I felt completely fine, you guys. I was not having no Braxton Hicks. I wasn't contracting, nothing. I felt fine. But yeah, my ultrasound was like alarming to them. So basically I went up there and they told me that she had no amniotic fluid at all in my stomach. And mind you guys, my water didn't break, but clearly it couldn't have, because where was the fluid gonna go, you know? Where was the fluid gonna be at? I asked them why that was. I told them my water did not break at all. I thought I felt little trickles down my leg here and there, but they felt like phantom trickles, meaning that it would feel like it, but I would touch my leg and no water would be there. So I said, I don't know what happened. Like, I felt fine. And they like kind of told me, you know, it is possible and this has happened before. It could, like, they said the fluid can leak back into your body. Like, I'm not sure at all about the science about that, but that's what basically happened to me, because where did the fluid go? It did not come out of me. So where did all her fluid go? So basically she had no amniotic fluid, which of course that's very alarming. And before I knew that, the nurse who was talking to me and telling me this, she was talking to the doctor as well. And basically she said, okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna see what the doctor says and I'll have good or bad news. And either you're gonna get discharged, which is the good news. The bad news, well, it's really good news too, obviously. Delivery and birth of my baby's good news, but she was like, the bad news is you're gonna have to give birth today. So I'll be back, and if I hand you a hospital gown, you're gonna give birth today, okay? And I said, okay. And I was still in shock because I really didn't believe what was going on, and I was so scared. And I had nothing ready, no diaper bag, not mine, not hers, nothing, okay? Just keep that in mind. So then she came back and she was pretty much just like, I have good and bad news. So then I'm like, what? And well, I wasn't rude or anything, but I was like, what is it? But I was just shocked, guys. And then she was just like, so the good and bad news is that you have no fluid in your stomach with her, so we have to deliver you. And basically she was making that good and bad news. Like, she was just like, yeah, so basically the good news is you're going to deliver your baby. The bad news is you have no amniotic fluid in your stomach, so that's why we're going to deliver your baby. And I was like, what? I just kept saying, what? I was like, what?
And
You guys, I was so shocked. I wasn't prepared. And the whole time, I wasn't even thinking about how my baby was gonna come out. And I'm like, obviously, duh, you have to give birth. But it's weird when you're actually facing reality with that. Like, oh my gosh, I have to deliver a baby for the first time. Like, what the heck do I do? I was scared. I was freaking out. My phone was dying. I had nothing packed. I came completely regular, clothed. I was not ready, okay, just to say the least. I know literally it was one day before my due date, but I still wasn't ready, y'all. And then so I had to call my brother up before my phone died to tell him to get my diaper bag ready, which that's why this time, the second time around, because I am pregnant as I'm filming this video in October 2019 with my second child. But just keep your bag prepared, you guys, okay? So then after that, he got my stuff ready and my mom left the hospital. Well, she was the only one with me at the time, and she left to go get my hospital bag to bring it back, and also had him and paid him to clean my room because my room was just a mess. Also don't recommend, but everything was just not prepared for my baby, right? And that's my own fault. I get lazy and I'm a procrastinator, and you know, I was a new mom. I don't know what the heck's going on, you know? But so they hand me the hospital gown, they hand me a bag, a clear baggie to get my stuff in. And I put my stuff in there, I gave it to my mom, and we went to the room. Yeah, so we went to the room, and like basically they told me to use the bathroom. Before I got hooked up to the machines and the walkers and everything like that, They told me to use the bathroom. They checked to see how much I was dilated. I wasn't really dilated that much. I kept being 80% effaced and 1 to 2 centimeters dilated. And I stayed 1 centimeter dilated for a while. And, well, like, up until that point, I was 1 centimeter and 80% effaced. So, then she was pressing down on my stomach. And then she was like, oh, and I'm like, what? And then she was like, do you need to use the bathroom? And I was like, no. But then she kept pressing. I kind of felt like I did. And she was like, oh, well, this may be so TMI. But she was like, there's something in there. And I was like, oh. So she was like, okay, so you really might want to use the bathroom. So basically, so I don't poop on my baby. So I went to the bathroom. Yada, yada. Y'all already know. Okay. So then I came back. And they was kind of like rushing me, like, well, I understand it was like a severe situation, but basically they was kind of rushing me because I had to get back in the bed. And yeah, they hooked me up to the machines. They started the Pitocin. They told me that I couldn't get up after that point. When I was hooked up to the machines, I couldn't get up, they told me. So I laid there, I felt completely fine, and you guys, I literally kid you not, in an instant, I heard and felt a pop, like that. I felt it and heard it. And I don't know if that was my water breaking or what, but as soon as I felt that pop, after the Pitocin was started, which it took very quickly for it to start in, it was on and popping then. Those Pitocin contractions felt so the worst pain in my entire life. I had no epidural, guys, okay, which I'm about to talk about that really soon. So basically I was in pain, as you guys will see in my video, which I did film what I could during my first birth. And basically it jump started so fast, I didn't get to even call my child's father because my phone was dead. So my mom did it, and his mom and him came. She brought him with her, and I couldn't talk. I couldn't really like pay attention. I couldn't do nothing. I was holding onto the railing for dear life and panting because it hurt so much. My labor was only 4 hours, and I pushed for 10 to 12 minutes. But yeah, guys, so he came in kind of like after labor was just starting to get going. My child's father came and was like there by my side the whole time after that. But yeah, the contractions were so painful. It feels just like way worse than period cramps. It feels like the most like stabbing, painful, aching feeling that does not stop. And my contractions was every 30 seconds, guys. They're supposed to be, I think, every 2 to 5 minutes. But my contractions was every 30 seconds, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, you'll even hear like someone in my video say how fast my contractions were coming, because they were. But obviously because she was ready to get out. My baby's head was also right there, so that also caused for alarm to get her out of there. So I was going through that for hours. I went at like 3 something and stayed there till past 7 p.m. Well, for the rest of the day, but it took 4 hours. But it hurt so bad. I wanted the not ultrasound. I wanted the epidural. So I said I could not take it no more, and I said, please, please, can I have epidural? So they called the anesthesiologist, and he did come in, but he walked in with a briefcase, okay, chill as heck. Came in with a briefcase, put it on my bed. As soon as he started to unpack his briefcase, then they was like, oh, no, sweetie, no, Shay. All the nurses swarmed me. No, 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 Shay, it's too late, girl. She's like, it's too late, honey. You need to give birth now. You can't get the epidural. I looked dead in all their eyes. I looked in his eyes. I said, please, please don't go. I said, please, I need the epidural. And he did not care. He just clip, took the suitcase, dipped out. So I was like, and then that's when I started freaking out. Now they're all yelling at me to start pushing. They brought up another nurse from a different floor because my doctor was not there. So yeah, they did that. But then he ended up arriving to deliver my baby, but he wasn't there at the time that my labor jump started, which I think that happens to a lot of women. So they was trying to help me push. They were also digging in like my cooch, trying to spread it out, because I don't think that I was even 10 centimeters from what I knew. Cause they literally was like, I really don't think like I was even like wide enough to deliver my baby yet. So they were trying to help guide her out. They used a vacuum to get her out too and everything. So they was trying their best, and these nurses were literally about to deliver my baby with a different doctor before my doctor came in. So he came in, was like, all right guys, cut the BS. Or I guess he was talking to me, but I didn't know he was talking to me.
And
I did not know he was talking to me like that, but he came in kind of rude, and he came in real hot. And, you know, then after that, it happened within like, not even like 5 to 10 minutes. He gave me a episiotomy. I did not tear or anything. He actually cut me with medical scissors. A episiotomy is a surgical cut that doctors give you, which I read that episiotomies, doctors try not to do that. But he did, and he didn't even tell me. I had no numbing. He didn't even have no idea that I was not numbed. Okay, I was not numbed at all. And they are supposed to even give you like, if you don't get an epidural, they're supposed to give you like some type of numbing medicine. He did not give me that, but his explanation after I gave birth was that he didn't know. He came in late, he did, but he didn't know, even though he should have read my chart or something, that I didn't get an epidural. He thought I had an epidural, guys. He cut me and he stitched me up without me having any pain medication. But after, as soon as he cut me, her head was already down and she popped right out. And then I wasn't even pushing for 10 to 12 minutes, which pushing was very hard for me. I was having such a hard time. So yeah. After that, he took the baby. I couldn't even do skin to skin, which I was telling them that I wanted to. I couldn't do skin to skin. And they took the baby, but that's because she was so small. And I heard that the cord was wrapped around her neck. But I didn't see anything, didn't give me a mirror or anything like that. So I don't know. But yeah, they took the baby, and then her dad got to hold her first before me. Like, I thought that was really messed up. I still think that's messed up a little bit, but that's just the way it went down. Afterwards, I was shaking real bad. Giving birth to the placenta, I don't remember hurting me. It just felt like a big gush. Nor do I remember them breaking my water, but what water was there to break, because my water never broke and all the fluid was gone. So it's like a weird situation. I couldn't stop shaking after birth and everything. And I tried to breastfeed, that was hard after birth. It was all hard, you guys. A lot of people felt really bad for me in my video. I'm reading now like all the comments, and I responded to all of them. And a lot of people really like sticking up for me, and they like really cared about how I felt and how I was doing in that video. And I really appreciate that, y'all. Like, y'all are really on my rocks. Like, y'all was really like caring about me and saying how I'm a nice person, and people were yelling at me and they were rude to me. You guys, I was giving birth. I wasn't focused about them. I was trying to get this baby out, and I was in so much pain. I was in so much pain. So yeah, I mean, that's my birth story. Basically, she ran out of amniotic fluid. I had no idea even up until her due date, one day before I gave birth to her, because of that. And they had induced me, and I felt everything. I felt being cut, I felt the contractions, and I felt the stitching. So that was very traumatic for me. I felt everything, and it hurt like a bee. It hurt. I am so nervous. Every pregnancy, every baby's different. I'm, again, 7 months pregnant right now, in October 2019, having my second baby. And I am kind of nervous about how this birth is gonna go. I mean, you know, I didn't have a long labor, and I'm so thankful for that, because I can't even imagine doing that naturally. Even though I probably would have got an epidural. If I had to be in labor for longer than that, I would have got an epidural for sure. But in my case, I just couldn't get one. So I know what childbirth feels like. I don't want to feel it again, but I have to. So yeah, that's basically my birth story. It all happened very traumatically. People were yelling at me and I felt all the pain and I wasn't even prepared. Yay me, right? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of long, you know, and there's a lot going on in it, but this just goes to show you, the quote today is like, you cannot prepare in life. Life's like 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. I guess that's the quote, but I was not prepared at all and I had to give birth and it was just a lot, guys, but I'm so thankful to be a mom. She changed my life, no matter how sassy she is or getting into stuff or being, you know, the toddler she is now. Like, she was all worth it, and you know, I'm gonna do it again for my baby. So if you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will be filming, or at least try to film, some of my birth in 2 months that's coming up. And I'm going to continue to talk about my pregnancy journey, because if you guys don't know, or if you're new, I have been recording some of my pregnancy journey, just a little bit, you know, pregnancy vlogs. So I'm still going to do that. I'm in the 3rd trimester right now, and yep. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and tell me, if you gave birth, how your labor and delivery went. All right, guys. Bye.
So baby, come and